Hey everyone, tomorrow's March 1st, so one day closer to getting our gardens going in this area, which I already have a few cooler season things in the garden. I've got beets and lettuce and cabbage and onions and things like that. But it's always so exciting for me to get into the time frame where I can grow the warmer season crops for some reason. I just really love that. And it's something that I'm sure most gardeners feel at that time. It's like it means something. It means like, okay, here we go. We get to really get into high gear as far as getting everything going in the garden. So it's always a really great energetic boost for me to know that that time is approaching because I have such fun with it. I enjoy it so much. And that kind of brings to mind a topic that I always think about at this time of year because it does happen at or around this time every year. I notice that, okay, I'm outside more. I'm getting my hands in the dirt. I'm actively getting things ready to grow our food and things like that. And I notice I feel better. I have more energy. And I know a lot of it has to do with, okay, you're getting more sunlight, you're getting some exercise, right? And but I think it also has something to do with getting your hands in the dirt, being able to have that connection with the food you're going to grow and the earth that it's growing in. And it is just something for me. And I know most gardeners will agree with me here that, yeah, I feel better when I'm getting into that zone, into that place in my mind where, okay, I get to grow some food. I get to make a change for this coming year. I get to do these things, and it's a fantastic feeling. So it's always such a nice way to kick off the warmer weather, the warm season with the and because here in Arizona, that's mainly what we get throughout the entire late spring through the summer and into the fall. It's pretty warm, and so we have a long growing season here. I can grow crop over crop over crop, and so I get a long. Almost too long where finally I'm like, okay, I need a break from this, but right now after having that break, it's always this sense of expectation, this feeling of, yay, we get to go again, we get to do this again. And so it's kind of a phenomenon that happens to me every year, and I love it. So this year I am growing some new crops that I've never grown before. I bought some aqua dulce fava beans, and I'm going to be growing those. And I thought about growing them as a cover crop and not trying to produce any actual beans. But I would really like to see, because I like fava beans, so I would really like to see how it works here in this area. So I'm actually going to be growing them for a crop. And then I'm going to be growing some other things that aren't the typical uh, crop maybe for a lot of people, but things like pearl millet for my chickens, and I'm going to be growing some hulless oats, and which I have grown before. They do pretty well here, and some rye. I'm going to grow some rye, and which I have also grown here before, and it grows pretty well. And so I'm going to be doing those things, and then also some cover crops like clover, some white clover, um, and things like that in certain areas that need a little bit of a boost, and that I'm not going to be growing like an actual main crop in for the early part of the year. So that's going on. But beyond that, I'm growing all the things that I can possibly fit into my garden, different kinds of tomatoes, peppers, okra, um, potatoes. I'm not growing sweet potatoes this year, unfortunately. I let that time pass me by, and so I don't have the slips. I guess I could buy some, but I don't typically do that. So uh, I like to grow them myself, but I didn't do it, so it's kind of too late now. But anyway, and then all the things that are fun to grow, like watermelon and cantaloupe and cucumbers, of course, and lots of I'm trying some different things like gooseberries and And something I have grown before, which is ground cherries that come back every year here because I did grow them one year, which I love them. They're amazing. They're awesome. So I think I had the Aunt Molly's ground cherry variety that first year, and so that's what comes back every year, and they're really nice. I like them. I've never made them into a jam or anything before. We just eat them fresh, but if I get enough of them, I might try that. That sounds kind of like fun. So be growing that stuff. And I have my garlic in already. Of course, it won't be ready to pull until June, but it's doing quite well. And I have artichokes and just all those kinds of things. And then herbs and wildflowers and just all of the accompanying things that help make your garden fantastic. Things that will draw in the pollinators and that smell nice and look really pretty. All of those things really add to that sense of well-being in the garden. Just there's a sense of balance there when you have all of those things growing. But I'm really looking forward to this year. This growing season is just, it seems like it's been so long since, I mean, it hasn't been that long. It was just last year, but it's, I'm just really looking forward to it. I've changed a lot of things around in my gardens, and I've added a new garden space, and just a bunch of things like that. So uh, it's just one of those things that I always really look forward to. And I know that most people that have gardens know exactly what I'm talking about because it's it's a common theme for gardeners. We all know how it feels, and so it's a lot of fun. So yeah, I would love to know what everybody else is growing and what they're. We're in Zone 8B, which doesn't mean a whole lot except for my perennials and things like that. But our last frost date is around May 10th, and so it's such a variable thing. I'm going to try to put my tomatoes and peppers and things like that out maybe a little bit earlier than that and cover them and protect them so that I might be able to get a little bit early, little more of an early start to the harvest. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I hope you guys are having a fantastic time in your gardens. Let me know what you're growing, and yeah, have a great day. Talk to you soon.